Hey, welcome back to Five Lakes Garage, baby. And guess what? Tower Power back in the shop, baby. All right, quick rundown of this 1976 Hydrosport with the Tower Power on the back of it. It's a 115. It has been running great since we actually got it up and running the first time. Check out some of the other videos. It's been going back for a few years now. I use this thing a lot, and it is definitely showing its age. It's about 49 years old now, almost 50. Things start to break. Today, what we're gonna do is see why my Tower of Power is not powering as much as it's towering. Yeah, exactly what I just said. So this guy right here has been running great, cranks right up first time, every time, except for the last few times I took it out. Now, just taking a look at the exterior of this thing. That's all fuel, that's all 2-cycle oil. It is just nasty and corroded and just leaking every darn where. So what we're going to do today is try to diagnose what is wrong. When I am trying to run it, I finally get it running. Great. We're riding along. Everything is great. It kind of sputters a little bit. Almost like it's missing a cylinder every now and again. This last time I took it out, I was wide open. And I'm like, what the heck is this garbage? So I'm thinking, before we even dive into this thing, we got two problems. One, we're getting way too much fuel in there. Once we put all that stuff back in there, we're going to check some spark. We're going to check some electrical stuff just to check some readings and make sure that we actually do have really good spark. Again, Chinese knockoff parts. It's about all you can get for a 40-some-odd-year-old engine. Anyway, let's put you on Tripod Willie over here and see if we can dive in, see what we got. All right, it's my baby right here, man. I love this thing. Let's see why she's not feeling well. These little clips could be a better situation, I have to say. All right, this thing has not been running in a few days, but as you can see, this is all shiny because all that fuel, it's actually pooling in the bottom, it looks like. So I'm thinking it's definitely a fuel issue. We should not be getting this much fuel in there. Hey, thanks for watching the show. Hey, if you need some outdoor speakers, indoor speakers, whichever, go ahead over to Hindui and go ahead and get you 10% off. But if you need some LED lights for your trucks, your tractors, whatever, go over to Exito and get you 15% off. All the promo codes are down and below. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to hit the subscribe. And we'll catch you later. Enjoy the show. I got to clean up. All right. So the biggest thing, I'm going to disconnect the battery, which good for me. Was that I installed the breaker. There you go. Battery has been disconnected. So this thing should not be arcing or anything like that if you actually hit anything. So let's go ahead and get this front cover off so we can actually get to these carburetors. I might even take my watch off for this one. It's gonna get down and dirty. All right, so with the front cover out of the way, it's just 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Keep them over to the side. I usually actually put them in right where I took them out, just so when I come back, I know exactly where they're at and exactly how they go in. And then you can keep track of pieces that you're missing. Like this one here, I'm missing a washer for some reason. But hey, maybe I didn't put it on there from last time. Anyway, so now we're in here a little bit more. You can see where I'm puddling right down in there. And all right, so it's a 2-cycle engine. It's going to leak a little bit of fuel. Just a little bit. I don't think it's supposed to leak this much. So we're right back into the very beginning to where we were a couple years ago when we bought this thing. All right, so I gotta get my spectacles on. Hey, I'm not as old as this thing, but I'm pretty darn close. And old people need glasses. So anyway, to get these carburetors off, there's actually just going to be 6 nuts to take off. You got 1 there, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now it is a 7/16, or in your metric land, it'll be 11 millimeter. I've been getting a lot of flack because I use metric tools. Well, it's the reality. Just about everything is metric nowadays. 1, 2, 3. That's number 4. Number 5. 6. Alright, so we got all 6 bolts out. The only thing that's left now would be your fuel line. You can either take it off at your filter or take it off up here. I'm probably just going to replace my filter just because, hey, I'm here and I have one up on the shelf. So I'm going to get a pair of pliers, pop that off, and we should be ready to go. And just to keep with the theme of being old, I got my dad's pliers. These things are probably older than I am. The only reason why I think I know that they are is because they still work. What is up with today's tools? It's garbage. Alright. Alright. So you are dealing with fuel, so be careful. Wear goggles if you got some. I probably should be wearing some, but I'm not. Anyway. Alright. Looks like all we have left would be this little guy right here, which would be your... Oop. We do have one connection down there. I'm going to take it off right there. And you can tell I worked on this thing because there's a tie wrap holding this one on. Gotta love a tie wrap. Dang! Alright. So we should have everything disconnected. I think I might replace that hose. That thing is rock hard. All 3 carbs all at the same time. All the linkages are in. Hoses are in. I can get that in there. There we go. Let's take it to the bench, see what we got. Alright, we got our carburetors down here on the table. Now the first thing we're going to do is actually just disconnect all the linkages because, well, we're only going to do one at a time. Now I'm definitely going to have to work out the toolbox on this time because I need a flathead and a Phillips. That's pretty darn close. You might have a few little nuts and bolts here and there if you want to take them off. But right now I just want to get into the bowls. Yeah. So on these rubber fittings, if you just get it a little twist, it kind of breaks it off, breaks the seal a little bit, and then you should be able to pop it right off. I'm going to put this guy over to the side, and now we have this guy here. Now on this particular model, it's the WMK411A. I believe it's what, 2A, and then 3A. So those are the part numbers for this particular model. Check yours to make sure that they're right. So the first thing I want to do is check my needle and seat. Alright, so what we got? Alright. Huh. You know, it might look like I didn't put that in there right the first time because my gasket wasn't seated right. I don't think that's my biggest, well, maybe if it was leaking out every darn where. This right here is our float. I don't hear anything in it, so we should be okay. Now this right here is your needle and seat. So look at my glasses. Gosh, it sucks being old. So the only thing that's kind of screaming right now would be this gasket here that I pinched and didn't seat properly. Alright, so order business now. Order another gasket. I might have one over there in the kit from last time, hopefully. If I do, great. Put it back together and hopefully we'll be on our way. Alright, we got some good news. I found one of the original ones from the other kit. So hopefully this will be enough and we can actually get this guy going today. I did order one, a kit. It should be here in the next day or so. So if this doesn't work, at least I got one coming. Well, let's see if we can gently put all this crap together and make sure it's in there right. Because I did not put that in there correctly. So I'm a dumbass. There you go. Alright, she's all back together. Now let's go get it back on the boat. Crank it up and see what she got. Alright, now all we have to do is put our nuts back on. Which is always fun because there is zero room in this engine. All right, just hooked up all the fuel lines and everything like that. Highly recommend going out and just getting a case of these things. I didn't have it last time, but I got it this time. So go ahead and replace them, and you don't have to use tire wraps, which, don't get me wrong, I love some tire wraps, but you don't need it if you don't need it. So anyway, I'm gonna take some brake clean and just kind of clean this up a little bit. Don't let it get on the lens because it sucks. Well, I tell you, I'm ready for a hot date right now. The way I smell, woo. There's not too many chemicals I'm leaving out. All right, go ahead and make sure, do a double check, make sure everything is tight. Everything you took off is what you actually put on. And it looks like I got everything in there. Take a look. All right, so I did take this guy off here. Just remember where the actual wires go. Just say yellow, yellow, black is the ground. And that will actually get your solenoid going, which will be your choke, which will actually fill the bowls up and give you a little extra fuel so you can actually get this thing running. I know that works because it actually clicks. But yeah, looks great. I'm gonna go grab the key, turn it over, and see what we got. And don't forget to turn the battery back on. All right, let's see if this thing will make some noise. This primer. All right, she's primed. I do not see any leaks yet. Let's see what she got. Oh, come on, please work. Holy crap. Alright, well, she did finally start. That's pretty much what she was doing earlier, so I guess we didn't find the actual problem. Alright, yes, I'm wearing a different shirt because it's a different day. Because tried to come back the next day, and yes, it did the same thing again. But this time, way worse. Fuel was everywhere. It kind of dried up a little bit, but this is a whole entire pool. You can see where all the dark stuff was. It was running down here, it was running up here. And so I'm like, alright, I didn't exactly fix the problem. But there's no way I should have been pouring that much fuel in here. Now, I pulled everything off just to like, all right, maybe it's the needle and see, maybe it's that, maybe it's this, whatever. But I think I found what the problem was. All right, got my light. So anyway, so this right here is your solenoid for your fuel. This is basically your choke. So anyway, so this right here goes to your top carburetor. This right here will come to your fuel rail. Stuff right here. So it kind of comes in here and then gets pushed out to all three cylinders. And all that's really doing is just making it richer. Instead of turning a butterfly to choke the air, like a choke, this is just adding more fuel. But take a look at that one. Where's my light? Yeah, I had my light. There it is. I'm thinking that's not going to hold much fuel. Now, I said it before that I'm like, oh yeah, it's kind of, you know, it's flexible, it's fine. No, it's not. So, I went over to my local AutoZone. No, they are not a sponsor. But when I get some awesome customer service, I'm going to let you know. And they just gave me awesome customer service. Now, if you go over to Holly Springs, North Carolina, there's an AutoZone kind of tucked away in the corner. Fantastic people. I kind of wish I grabbed his name. Sorry, dude. But if you're listening, because he did become a subscriber, let me know your name, man. I'm going to get you guys out there because, wow, that's awesome. Good customer service. You just don't see that every day. All right, those hoses have been replaced. Now, since I have it, because those dudes over at AutoZone were awesome, I have enough to actually replace all the rest of it. So that's what we're going to do. Hopefully this actually fixes our problem, because I could have sworn those carburetors were beautiful. But if I'm getting air into the cylinder, that means the one up top is running really thin. The other one, yeah, not the greatest thing. But right now, it's going to be the tedious work of going through, measuring, cutting, and don't forget your clips. Bam! Look at that. Flexy. Not so flexy. even though it seemed to be okay. Anyway, more work. And I gotta turn the fan on. It's hot. And find my parts. Right. Man, that was a chore. Alright, so I got all of the hoses replaced, and went ahead and fixed up that one seal that was broken earlier. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and put this guy back on, and hopefully we can finish this out. I got my motor running again. I'm excited. Anyway, I hurt my finger. I'm gonna pout. All right, everything is hooked up, everything is plumbed, everything should be ready to go. I went ahead and primed it a few times, and I don't see any leaks, so that is a good sign. Yep, no leaks. So anyway, I got my ear muffs because this thing is loud. I'm inside. I got the fan on. Well, I did have the fan on to try to get some of the fumes out of here, but just in case, I got my little red buddy to actually try to keep it safe. But anyway, cross your fingers. Let's see if she runs. Holy crap, I'm tired of working on this thing. Well, she runs again. Anyway, but hey, this is progress. Hopefully if tomorrow it won't be raining, I can take it outside and hook it up to the hose. See if I can actually run it for a little while. Make sure we don't have any more fuel leaks. Anyway, that's another episode here of the Tower of Power. Ran into some fuel line issues, ran into some electrical issues, ran into issues. Now she runs again, but how well she runs, I don't know. But we're going to find out. I think that she's just running a little pig rich because of all of the issues we had. But hey, we'll figure it out. Anyway, until next time, take it easy, have fun, get out there and fix your own stuff. Hopefully this kind of helps you a little bit. I would have to say it was very frustrating for me. But hopefully we'll get this guy on the water and see how she does. Anyway, peace, later.